What if everything you know had a beginning far stranger and more beautiful than you imagined? The very first book of the Bible. A collection of ancient stories that don't just explain where the world came from, but why it matters. This is how everything began. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. With just a word, light appeared. Then sky. Then land. Then life itself. In 6 days, the cosmos was ordered. Day and night. Sun, moon, and stars. Oceans teeming with fish, skies filled with birds, and the earth alive with animals of every kind. But then, God did something different. He formed a man from dust, and breathed into him the breath of life. Then, from the man, he created woman. Together, they were called Adam and Eve. They walked with God in a paradise called Eden. Everything was theirs, except one tree. And from that one tree, came a choice. A serpent whispered. Eve listened. Adam followed. One bite, and everything shattered. Innocence was lost. Shame entered the world. They were banished from the garden, and death entered human history. But even in judgment, there was mercy. God promised that one day, someone would come to crush the serpent's head, and make things right again. Their children, Cain and Abel, offered sacrifices to God. But Cain's heart was not right. And in jealousy, he killed his brother. Humanity spiraled further. Violence, corruption, and pride filled the earth. So God grieved and decided to start again. But one man was different. Noah was righteous in a wicked world. God told him to build an ark, giant and strange. People laughed, until the rain came. 40 days of water. A world drowned. But Noah, his family, and the animals on the ark survived. When it was over, God made a covenant. Never again would he destroy the earth by flood. He placed a rainbow in the sky as a promise of mercy. But even after this fresh start, humanity fell again. People united to build a tower to heaven. Not to worship, but to make a name for themselves. So God confused their language. Suddenly, no one could understand each other. And the people scattered across the earth. Out of confusion, nations were born. But the real turning point came next. In a land called Ur, a man named Abram heard a voice. God said, "Leave your country, your family, and your home. Go to a land I will show you. I will bless you. I will make you a great nation. And through you, all nations will be blessed." No details. No map. Just a promise. And Abram, later called Abraham, believed. He wandered through deserts and foreign lands, always waiting for the promise. But years passed. Still no child. Still no nation. He asked, "How can I be the father of many, when I have no son?" God showed him the stars. And said, "So shall your descendants be." And Abraham believed. But even the faithful stumble. Sarah, Abraham's wife, was old, too old, she thought, to have children. So she gave Abraham her servant, Hagar. From her came a son, Ishmael. But this was not the child God had promised. When Abraham was 99 years old, God said, "By this time next year, Sarah will bear a son." Sarah laughed. But God fulfilled his word. A boy named Isaac was born, a miracle. Then came the greatest test. God said, "Take your son, your only son, and offer him as a sacrifice." Abraham obeyed. He raised the knife. But God stopped him. A ram was provided instead. It was a test of trust. And Abraham passed. Isaac grew up and married Rebekah. They had twins, Esau and Jacob. Esau was the older, stronger one. But Jacob, clever and determined, took his brother's blessing through deception. Jacob ran. But one night, he dreamed of a ladder stretching to heaven. And God repeated his promise. I am with you. I will not leave you. Jacob wrestled with God, both spiritually and literally. And God gave him a new name, Israel, he who struggles with God. Jacob had 12 sons. But he loved Joseph the most. A dreamer. A visionary. A boy with a special coat. His brothers were jealous. They sold him into slavery. In Egypt, Joseph was imprisoned, forgotten. But never abandoned by God. He rose to power, interpreting Pharaoh's dreams. And when famine struck, Joseph's brothers came to Egypt, begging for food. They didn't recognize him. But Joseph forgave them. He said, "You meant it for evil. But God meant it for good." Genesis ends with Joseph in Egypt. A family saved. A nation about to be born. But behind every story, creation, flood, promise, betrayal, blessing. One thread runs through it all. God is always working. Even when people fail. Even when the plan seems broken. Even when the ending isn't clear. Genesis isn't just a story of beginnings. It's the beginning of your story too. So ask yourself. What if the most important part of your life? Is it just beginning?